Hi Girl Scouts, thank you so much for joining me today on this beautiful Self-Care Sunday. My name is Rachel Gorecki and I'm a Leadership Development Specialist with the Girl Scouts of Wisconsin Badgerland. And to start off our activity today, I'd like to just address some of the changes that have been happening in our world over these last several weeks and some of the stress that it has caused. I'm sure you've all noticed, with things being so different in our world and us staying at home more, there's a potential for us to feel a bit overwhelmed and more stressed out. And I think that during times like these, it's super important for us to implement some self-care into our daily routine. And one thing that I've really been enjoying is getting creative with things inside my house and focusing on projects. I always feel better when I'm creating something, and it just makes me feel like I'm being innovative. It's that innovator part of me as a Girl Scout. So with that in mind, I got to thinking about how we're all doing so much hand washing right now and trying to stay healthy. And as a result of that, our hands are starting to feel really dry and chapped. I know that mine have. And since we're being responsible right now, trying to take limited trips to our local stores, it got me thinking about what are some items inside my house that I can use to create my own skincare products. So today's going to be a bit of a fun DIY experimental project. And before we continue, I want to mention that this activity will cover 2 different badge requirements. It does fulfill the Badgerland stay-at-home patch because we are going to be creating our own stress-free zone. That's part of the creative process, and I know I've set up my own zone right here. I've got my coffee, I've got my candle burning behind me, so I've created a nice space where I can concentrate and just be calm and at peace and ready to start my project. Also, if you're a senior Girl Scout, this activity does fulfill step 1 of the Science and Style badge, because what we're doing is creating our own skincare product and testing it out. So I'm going to introduce you to the items that I found in a moment, but first, just a little bit of science as to how our skin works and what causes it to get dry in the first place. So your skin happens to be the largest organ in your body, and it actually makes up 16% of what is you. It has different layers which are constantly shedding, and those new cells are being generated in order to keep our skin healthy. Our skin is essential for protecting us, for regulating our body systems, and our skin also serves as our sense of touch. As we know, that's why when we touch something, we say we feel it with our skin, right? So our skin actually has its own natural oil, and some of us have more of that than others. That's why we say some people have an oilier skin texture, where some other people might have drier skin. Myself, I have very dry skin, or maybe you fall somewhere in the middle. And so with us washing our hands a lot right now, you would actually think that the water would be hydrating for our skin, but water is only good from the inside out. Drinking water is actually great for your complexion, but when you run water over your skin, what happens is the water starts to evaporate, and along with it, it absorbs the oils that are in your skin, and so removing them, it results in that dry, damaged feeling that we get when we're washing our hands too much. Now, because hot water evaporates much quicker than colder water, it's a really good rule of thumb to never wash your hands with scalding hot water. That's very bad for your skin. It's better to use warm water or a room temperature water, so something more tepid in between. So now we're going to take a look at some of the items that I was able to find around my house. Now, everything that you see here, believe it or not, is beneficial to your skin in some way, shape, or form, whether it's for your face, your body, or both. I'm not going to tell you how all of these are used because that's going to be part of your job. You're being a discoverer today and you're going to be experimenting, so I'll leave some of that to you. But I'm just going to go through these real quick so you can see what I have here. Then what I'll do is I will show you the product that I decided to make, how I made it, and at the end I will turn you loose to do your own experimenting and creating a skincare product based on either anything you see here or maybe with something else that you found that you don't see. So it will require you to do a little bit of research and a little bit more discovering. All right, so first off, I have some organic coconut oil. And by the way, this says USDA organic. Anytime something's certified organic, it's definitely, preferred for your skin because the more natural of anything you're putting on your skin, the better. I have some lavender essential oil right here. This is coffee grounds. Right here I have some almond oil. I have a potato. Wonder how you use that, right? An avocado here. I have an aloe vera plant. This is green tea right here. This is a jar of olive oil that I just keep next to my stove for cooking purposes. And then I have some sugar. I have some raw honey. It's important that it's raw honey and not just honey, so the raw honey is what you want to look for. I also have some baking soda and I have a cucumber here. So the product that I was able to make and test out for myself is a DIY honey sugar scrub. And it's super simple. There's 4 ingredients that I use to make this. I'm just going to move my coffee aside here. So the first thing that I use for this is coconut oil. Coconut oil makes up the base for a lot of different DIY skincare products. It's very common, so this is a good one to go with because it can make a lot of different things. So coconut oil is awesome. It's naturally antibacterial, antifungal, and super hydrating. You can tell just by feeling it how moist it is, and it's just wonderful for your skin. So I'm gonna set that aside here. And then of course we need the honey for our honey sugar scrub. Honey is a natural antiseptic, and it's packed with antioxidants. So it's great for drying out some of those harmful chemicals we might get in our skin throughout the day. And then probably the most surprising ingredient is sugar. So sugar, while it is very harmful for your skin from the inside out, when you're eating it, it's not good for your complexion. When applied topically to your skin, it acts as something called a humectant. This is something I just learned. So sugar is a natural humectant, which means that as you're applying it to your skin, it naturally draws moisture from the air into your skin. So it works that way, and that was very surprising to me. That was something really cool that I learned. Not only that, but it also gives that gritty texture into the scrub that we're going to make. So for something to be a scrub, it does have to have that grittiness because it's really an exfoliant. So the sugar scrub we're making is something that exfoliates and helps get rid of dead skin cells. And then lastly, this was something optional that I just threw in there. I put in just a couple of drops of lavender essential oil, and that's really just for it to smell nice. So, putting these aside here, I'll tell you how much of each ingredient I used. Okay, so what you need is, if you decide to make this, that's fine, but you can make something else, of course. So this is 1.5 cups of the coconut oil. I'm gonna set this right here. And then for the honey, we just need 1/4 of a cup or 1/4 cup. So we have that right here. And then for sugar, you need 1 level cup. 1 level cup of sugar, so I have that right here. And then for the essential oil, like I said, just a few drops. All right, so to get this prepared, you're going to need, you can use this for whatever you make, a nice tall mixing bowl, and obviously something to stir and mix with. I'm going to suggest using a potato masher to help get things soft and easier to work with, because I know coconut oil, when it comes out of the jar, can be really hard. So you can use a masher. You can also pop your coconut oil in the microwave for a couple seconds to get it softer. That's a good trick as well. So I'm going to combine my ingredients and get everything stirred and mixed up. It's going to take me about 5 minutes, my mixed up product. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so I have finished whipping up my creation here, and as you can see, this is what it looks like. And it's pretty thick. It is your choice if, with whatever you're making, how much you want to alter the ingredients. This is your creation, and you should do something that's suitable for you and your skin type. So now I'm just going to empty this into this mason jar that I have. It's a pint-sized jar, and this recipe does yield about 2 cups, so this size jar is perfect. So I'm just going to get this in here before I start using it. And these types of products, just a little FYI, they really make wonderful gifts as well for family and friends. I actually made a similar skincare recipe for my entire team over last holiday season, and they loved it. So this product also can be used on your hands. I sometimes use it in the shower, and I use it on my face as well. With that in mind, it's also really important to note that before you do any experimenting, please make sure you're aware of any allergies that you might have to food or other ingredients, and just knowing that whatever you're using is going to be safe for you. So not everything works the same for every person. I happen to have pretty dry skin, so this product I've been using probably 2 to 3 times a week. And so how I use it is I just take a little dollop, about that much, if I'm just using it for my hands, and I'm going to rub it on my hands for about 3 to 5 minutes, and just kind of get it absorbed into the skin. It is a scrub, so you're not going to rub it in like you would a moisturizer and leave it there. Obviously, we're going to rinse it off after a couple of minutes. Now, when you're experimenting and creating your own skincare product, again, think about what kind of a purpose it's going to serve for you. So, do you have any skin issues that you'd like to address? Is your skin particularly dry, particularly oily? If you're looking at something that's good for your face, do you want to consider the texture of your face, or taking care of any other issues that you might have? So it's really good to think about all those things when you consider what types of ingredients you might want to use. Again, everything you see here can be used topically on your skin. That's how it's all intended to be used, and I'm just really excited for you all, and I hope that you come up with some really cool creative projects. All right, I have a napkin here because this does get a little bit messy. I'm already noticing a huge difference in my skin. I just know it's going to feel great once I rinse it off. So I am going to head to the sink, rinse off my scrub, and then I will share the results with you. So I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so now that I've rinsed off my DIY honey sugar scrub, I can definitely tell a huge difference in my skin. It feels so soft, it smells great, and I don't have to worry about my skin getting so damaged all the time, because I will make sure to use this a few times a week. That's what works for me. So I'm just going to put the lid on here and save it in my mason jar for next time. And again, I hope that you learned some things about skin today, and that you were inspired to create a fun skincare product that will work for you. And I hope that you have fun experimenting with all of your items, that you find some great stuff around the house that you can use. And thank you so much for joining me again today, and I hope everyone's doing well. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.